coming to from Estonia. How many people have a desire to live and work or study abroad? I think many people. I myself had the amazing opportunity to study and live in Chile for 2 years when I was in university. And it was one of the most awesome experiences that I ever had. The problem for most people is financially how they can afford this experience, and furthermore, how they can continue financing it while living in these countries. Okay, if you're a young person that's been able to manage going, doing this first part of it, but you're unsure of how to continue maintaining it, this is a huge question, and there's ways to improve your chances of being able to continue living in this country. Now, some things to understand when you're living abroad is that you don't have the natural social support that you would have living in your respective country. And if you're from the first world like myself, the natural social support is going to be much greater than if you're from a third world country. Okay, and that's going to immediately make it different for a typical person going to one of these countries. So some things that you can do to improve your chances of being successful and being able to remain there is based on lowering your cost or expenses or making more money to sustain yourself there. Now, before you go, make sure you pay off any debts. This is key. Debts often weigh you down in your home country, and it's not going to be any different when you go to that other country. Next thing is be realistic about what it will cost you to live in this country. Always gauge for at least 2, maybe even 3 times more than what you would be planning on to give yourself some cushion there. If you're someone that tends to spend less, you'll probably come in under the budget, but many people have all sorts of miscellaneous costs and it actually takes them over their initial budget. Now, other stuff is like keeping transportation reasonable, and that means trying to use public transportation as much as possible. Surprisingly enough, there's countries like Estonia that have free public transportation in Tallinn, the capital, which means that any public bus, tram, or train is free within the city. And that's a huge transportation reduction for most people. Now, in most other countries, it's not free, but it's going to be much lower to use that daily than using the public bus or train system. Now, think also about insurance, because in America there's many people who have all kinds of insurances. There's homeowners insurance and auto insurance and health insurance. And likewise in other countries, insurances also exist. So even if you live in a country that has a socialized healthcare system, it would still be advisable to have a private health insurance plan. And the reason why is in some of these countries, there's operations or certain procedures where they just will not cover these costs, or it's going to be very subpar care that you receive. And private insurances can actually be like maybe $50 in a typical country. So you're not looking at a whole lot, $50 per month. And you'll probably be able to go to a private clinic, see some of the best doctors, and it will also keep you from having an emergency and then causing you to have to pay a lot more on top of that. Other thing is like going out and eating to clubs, bars. How can you keep these costs down? Well, think staying at home and eating and dining. If you can try to keep these costs lower, it will really add up at the end of the month. Many people forget how many costs add up from just going out to eat often, or even from daily coffees. Now, daily coffee, I will admit, is one of my things that I go every single day for a coffee in the morning, but you can always have these like little things here and there. If if you're someone that loves going to bars and clubs, it's very advisable that you do most of the drinking at home. This will really save you a lot of cost. When I lived in South America, I was big into going to nightclubs, and I actually would spend a lot more money than I had forecasted when I got to the club or the bar, rather than just drink some alcohol at home. And if you do that, you'll probably spend at least 70 to 80% less than you'd spend if you went to a club and bought the same alcohol.